When it comes to luxury watches that hold or grow in value, few brands match the investment power of Rolex. But not all Rolex models are created equal. Some are skyrocketing faster than others. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, knowing which references are heating up right now could be the difference between a solid pickup and a future grail. In this video, we're going to be breaking down the Rolex watches that are going up in value fast, and why the market is chasing them hard. Starting with number 1, the Oyster Perpetual 41, reference number 134300. The Rolex Oyster Perpetual 41 is simplicity refined, a watch that quietly flexes modern Rolex design without shouting. It is the cleanest expression of what Rolex does best. Robust build quality, precise mechanics, and timeless aesthetics, all distilled into a no-date timepiece that is surprisingly versatile. What sets this reference apart is its matte green lacquer dial, more subdued and contemporary than the earlier high-gloss Stella-inspired dials. Rolex uses 6 layers of lacquer, topped with varnish, to give the surface richness and depth without glare. The result is a dial that feels both playful and sophisticated, depending on the light and the context. Powered by the latest generation caliber 3230, it features all the tech that Rolex is known for: a 70-hour power reserve, Chronergy escapement, Parachrome hairspring, and superlative chronometer precision. The updated case proportions, slimmer lugs, sleeker bezel, and an improved Oyster clasp make it more wearable than its predecessor, the 124300. Though it has no complications, this watch is anything but basic. It's quickly become a modern classic, with demand far outpacing supply. With a retail price of around $6,400, it now trades on the secondary market between $7,000 and $9,000, depending on dial color and condition. The green variant in particular commands a premium due to rarity and aesthetic appeal. This reference proves that sometimes less really is more. It's a future-proof daily wearer, and collectors are betting on it now before the prices rise further. Number 2, the Submariner, reference number 116610LN. The Rolex Submariner 116610LN is one of the most recognizable dive watches ever made, and one of the most collectible modern Rolexes. Produced from 2010 to 2020, it was the first steel Submariner to feature a ceramic bezel insert, marking a major step forward in durability and design. The LN stands for Lunette Noire, or black bezel, giving it a sleek, stealthy look. With its 40mm maxi case, chromalite lume, scratch-proof Cerachrome bezel, and upgraded bracelet with glide lock adjustment, the 116610LN offers Rolex's toughest, most refined diver yet, bridging the gap between tool watch and luxury statement. Inside beats the caliber 3135, a workhorse movement that defined Rolex reliability for decades. What makes this reference even more appealing today is its status as a transitional piece. It was discontinued in 2020 and replaced by the slightly larger 126610LN with a new movement, making the 116610LN the last of the 40mm ceramic subs. That distinction, along with its decade-long production run and modern specs, has made it a sweet spot for collectors. Retailing for around $8,550 at the end of its production, it now trades between $10,000 and $13,000 depending upon condition and completeness. This Submariner represents the final chapter of the 40mm era, a design that many collectors still prefer. It's a rugged, versatile icon with rising value and lasting legacy. Why is it climbing fast? End of production, perfect proportions, and collector preference for that classic 40mm silhouette. Number 3, the Explorer 2, reference number 226570. The Rolex Explorer 2 is the spiritual successor to one of Rolex's most utilitarian watches, designed for those who explore in darkness, cave dwellers, polar scientists, and deep adventurers. It keeps the original intent alive, with a bright orange GMT hand and a fixed 24-hour bezel for distinguishing AM from PM, or tracking a second time zone, ideal for travelers and professionals alike. At 42mm, this stainless steel model retains its rugged roots while gaining subtle refinement. The polar white dial version, with its stark black hands and markers, offers incredible legibility and a cult favorite aesthetic. Inside beats Rolex's latest generation caliber 3285, a highly efficient, shock-resistant, and COSC+ superlative chronometer-certified movement with 70 hours of power reserve. It is built to take a beating and keep perfect time doing it. Although not a limited edition, the Explorer 2 has become significantly harder to find at retail. Demand for this reference, especially the white dial, is steadily climbing, with market values ranging between $10,500 and $13,000, compared to the retail price of about $9,650. This steady rise is due to its practical GMT functionality, its low availability, and its strong ties to vintage Rolex heritage, particularly the original Steve McQueen era, reference 1655. Collectors see the 226570 as the most complete Explorer 2 ever made, modern in mechanics, faithful in design, and distinct in personality. It's not just a tool watch, it's a statement of purposeful style. Number 4, the GMT Master 2 Pepsi, reference number 16710. The Rolex GMT Master 2 Pepsi is one of those models that blends genuine utility, vintage flair, and undeniable collectability. And that's exactly why its value is climbing fast. Produced between 1989 and 2007, the 16710 featured the classic red and blue Pepsi aluminum bezel, a sapphire crystal with a cyclops date, and an oyster bracelet design. What sets it apart is the movement evolution. Early models with caliber 3185 offered a jumping hour hand, while the later Z-series pieces upgraded to caliber 3186 with smoother hand movement and enhanced anti-shock features. The 40mm stainless steel case still wears beautifully despite its age, with a profile that feels vintage without being tiny, and many examples retain excellent condition thanks to fitter bracelet designs and solid build quality. Collectors are flocking to the 16710 because it represents the last of the classic aluminum bezel Pepsi GMTs before Rolex moved to the ceramic inserts, making it a kind of end of an era. Original bezel inserts, unpolished cases, and full sets are harder to find, and they demand premiums. Because the design is iconic, the visual appeal is timeless, and the functionality remains useful even in 2025, more buyers want one. Not just for aesthetics, but for real wear. Typical pricing now sits in the $10,000 to $15,000 range, and rare transitional models or ones with the original parts are pushing even higher. What's driving the value increase is this mix: heritage appeal, relative rarity, especially good condition vintage, and functional utility. Not to mention demand among both collectors and people who travel. Number 5. The Submariner Kermit, reference number 126610LV. The Rolex Submariner Kermit is one of the rare modern Submariner variants that really checks all the boxes: heritage, modern tech, and unmistakable visual punch. With its 41mm oyster steel case, the green Cerachrome bezel paired with a glossy black dial gives it that signature Kermit contrast. An echo of past green bezels, but done with Rolex's latest materials. Internally, it's no slouch either. Powered by the caliber 3235 with the Chronergy escapement, around 70 hours power reserve, parachrome hairspring, and enhanced shock resistance. You get a dive-friendly 300 meters water resistance, scratch-proof sapphire, cyclops date lens, and bezel graduations that won't fade. Functional durability wrapped in brand prestige. What's driving its value? First, demand. This isn't a limited edition, but it is weighted by long wait lists at ADs, scarcity in supply, and strong global demand. Second, Rolex has upgraded nearly every component for this iteration. Ceramic bezel instead of aluminum, tighter movement tolerances, refined bracelet and clasp, thinner lugs, making this a genuine upgrade, not just a color swap. Third, aesthetics matter. Green bezels always catch attention, and this combination resonates both with traditional subfans and newcomers who like bold styling. On the secondary market, values are steadily rising. Retail was around $10,800, but depending upon condition, bracelet options, and how full the set is, trading values now often run between $13,000 and $16,000 or more. For many collectors, the Kermit feels like the sweet spot. Modern Rolex tech, iconic bezel color, and the kind of presence that just ages well. And finally, number 6, the Daytona Panda, reference number 116500LN. The Rolex Daytona Panda has become one of the most desirable modern Rolex watches on the planet, and values are still climbing. Introduced in 2016, this version of the Daytona updated the legendary chronograph with a high-contrast white lacquer dial, black subdials, hence the Panda nickname, and Rolex's virtually indestructible black ceramic Cerachrome bezel. The look is sporty, yet elegant, timeless, yet contemporary, making it incredibly versatile and appealing to collectors, enthusiasts, and even those new to watches. The case is 40mm in 904L stainless steel with polished lugs and a brushed oyster bracelet. Inside beats Rolex's in-house caliber 4130, an automatic column wheel chronograph known for its reliability, 72-hour power reserve, and efficient architecture. It's COSC certified, smooth to operate, and considered one of the best chronograph movements on the market. But what really drives this watch's value isn't just specs, it's scarcity. The Daytona Panda quickly developed multi-year waitlists at Rolex dealers. Despite a retail price of around $14,800, secondary market prices have hovered between $30 and $40 grand for years. This premium shows no signs of slowing down, especially with Rolex ceasing production of the reference in 2023, which further boosts its long-term value. The Panda Daytona's value is rising fast due to a mix of limited supply, iconic status, and timeless design. It is a modern classic that is already viewed as future vintage gold. Quietly iconic, subtly collectible, instantly Rolex. These Rolex models aren't just luxury timepieces. They are smart, wearable investments backed by decades of craftsmanship, brand prestige, and rising demand. They prove that the right Rolex can do more than just tell time. It can grow in value while you wear it. If you're looking to get ahead of the curve, now might be the time to make your move. Stay sharp and keep your wrist game strong.